Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing the Get to Know Me tag, and it is a series of 10 questions I've chosen so you can get to know me a bit better, because you usually just see me through my blog and that's mostly just essays about products or my health, so I thought we'd get to know me a bit better today. So I've got a series of 10 questions I've chosen below here on my phone, and I'm just going to answer them as truthfully as I can. So number 1. What's my full name? My full name is Elise Anna Blair. It is not short for Elizabeth, as lots of people seem to think. It's literally just Elise, and it's not spelt L-C either, E-L-S-I-E, no, wrong. It is E-L-I-S-E. That is it. Literally cannot stand it when people call me Elsie. It really annoys me. Number 2, how old am I and when is my birthday? My birthday is the 24th of August 1997, which makes me just turned, well just, it's been ages now, life goes too quickly. I am 21 years old. Number 3, how tall are you? I am 5'6½", and the half is very important, as you know. The funny story is I was actually 5'5" for a very long time. Like, I thought that's where I'd finished growing, and then when I had my scoliosis operation, the minute I woke up and they remeasured me, I'd instantly grown to 5'6½", like overnight. It was amazing. It was a great boost. It just shows how curved my spine was, that it was actually taking up all the height. It was crazy. Number 4, do you have any pets? And if so, give the details on them. I have 2 cats, 1 rabbit, a saltwater aquarium, and a horse, of course. That's rhymes. And my cat is a Bengal, and his name is Kaiser, and the other one is a British Shorthair named, well, his real name's Morgan, that's his actual name, but for some reason we all call him Boogie, like that's just his name. And then my rabbit is a Dutch black and white rabbit called Oreo, but again we call him Bibbles. He is never ever called Oreo unless he is being naughty, which is all the time. And then we all know the fabulous Super Dave, my horse. He is a black 17 hand high warm blood, and is the best thing in the world, and I love him so much. Number 5, do you have any talents or hobbies that you like to do? This is a very long list because I have a lot of things that I do, but I'm all very average at all of them. So of course, horse riding will always be my main hobby. I've done it since I was 4 years old, and I started riding, actually, my primary school was based on a farm, so we got to ride the Shetlands and things like that as an extracurricular activity, which was absolutely great, and that's where I fell in love with it, of course. My next hobby that I say was a big part of my life, and still is every now and then, is music, and I can literally pick up any instrument you give to me and I will teach myself it. That's my one talent that I'm actually quite good at, I'd have to say, modestly. I'm very humble, you see. So I played clarinet from the age of 9 or 10. I think I started in primary school halfway through. So yeah, about 9 or 10. And I actually, at the beginning, I had the clarinet over the summer holidays, and then was starting lessons at school in the new term. And I taught myself everything over that summer holidays. Like, I literally taught myself to play the clarinet from scratch. Never even seen the instrument before, and I did it all myself. That's my one talent. I used to play in a lot of orchestras and bands and jazz bands and things like that. I loved doing it. And I used to audition every year for the National Youth Orchestra, and I absolutely loved that. That was like a week-long camp where you just play with other people, talented musicians, young kids. And then you put a concert on at the end for your parents, and you stay over at boarding school, and it was brilliant fun. It was really good. I actually had to stop kind of playing clarinet after all that. I actually got up to grade 7, and then I hated grades. I was playing at a grade 8 standard for many years since I was a kid, but I just could not stand doing the exams, so I stopped when I got to grade 7. And then I started having my spine problems and my health problems, and I just could not play it anymore because my rib cage is really constricted. So I find I just run out of air and it makes me cough and it's painful, so I just had to give it up, sadly. And that was quite devastating. So I put that down and I picked up the guitar instead, because you do not need air for that, thank God. So my dad's really good at playing the guitar, drums, piano. It's where I get it from. Like, he is the one who is the musician in the family. So I picked that up from him, and he taught me a few basic chords on the guitar, and it took me a few years to get into it. I had really tiny hands, so I found it very difficult even on a kid's guitar for a long time. I just could not do it, like the bar chords. And then soon enough I just clicked with it, and it was so fun. And then I taught myself all the notes, how to play it, and I'm not amazing at it, but I taught it myself, and I absolutely love playing the guitar. It's so fun, and I'll add a clip in here to show you some of what I can do on the clarinet and the guitar. I actually picked up the clarinet very recently, and it was very painful on the lungs and hard for me to play, and it took me a while to get back into it, but I've still got it, and it's really fun. I've actually got a project that I'm hoping to do probably after Christmas with the clarinet, so keep your eye out for that one. So other hobbies I enjoy in my free time, I'm big into gaming. So when I had my operations, I was stuck in bed for a very long time, and I'm pretty much bedbound a lot of the time now, sadly. So to keep myself occupied, I started getting really into the Harry Potter games, which I've completed all of them. And then I decided to upgrade to the Xbox One, put it in my room, so I have the whole setup now, and I'm obsessed with it. Like I could play 8 hours a day without fail, and I love it. It's just great fun. Then I, of course, also enjoy photography, video editing, any videoing, vlogging, making these videos, and I also absolutely love makeup, and that's why I started this channel actually, because I just wanted to give myself something to do, because I've spent so much time on my own due to my disability that I needed something to keep me busy. And of course I collected makeup already, so I thought, why not do some fun makeup tutorials? I'm not amazing at it, I'm completely self-taught, as a lot of people are, but it's something I really enjoy doing, and yeah, it's been great. Number 6. If you found a cure for your disability, what would you like to do or learn? Now this is quite an interesting question. I thought it would be fun to answer this. So as a kid, I used to tap dance, and I stopped when it got to the year 6 entrance exams because I had a lot of work to do, and I absolutely loved it though. It was so fun. So I think if I would, it's not gonna get cured, like there's no point thinking like that. I will always have a disability of some sort because it's a permanent spinal damage. But if I was ever well enough to walk properly, move, things like that, I would take up dancing again. And I'd love to, I've always wanted to do it. It's always been in the back of my mind to try it one day. And I hope I'll be able to do that one day. Whether it's lyrical, hip hop, anything, I'd love to give it all a go and see what I enjoy and just have some fun with it. Number 7, if you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would you pick? Oh, definitely ramen. I absolutely love ramen noodles, like the proper Japanese authentic ramen, not the Wagamama's crap. It's got to be authentic Bone Daddy's ramen. I absolutely love it. We used to, when we go up to hospitals in London, when we're looking for food, I found Bone Daddy's in London, and I got obsessed with their ramen, and we go to it every single time I have a hospital appointment now, and it's the only reason I go to hospital is to get my bowl of ramen afterwards. Number 8, what is your favourite film? Ooh, that's a hard one. I'd say I absolutely love the Harry Potter series. That's very important to me, those series, because when I had my spinal surgeries, I was quite a big reader, and obviously I was spending 24 hours a day in bed, not being able to do anything, very ill. So my mum got me all the books on Kindle to the Harry Potter series, and I read through them all within a month. I absolutely loved them, and they kept me busy all day when I was in pain, recovering, and just felt terrible. They were just amazing, and I loved them. And then of course I saw the films before I read the books, because I was a lot younger when it came out, and they're just fabulous. I think everyone loves Harry Potter in some way. We've all got a secret Harry Potter geek deep inside of us, whether you know it or not. But overall, I absolutely love horror films. I will live for a horror film. It's my favourite thing. I only ever go to the cinema now to see a horror film. That is it, or the Fantastic Beasts films, of course. I think one of the first horror films I actually saw was when I was 12 years old. I saw the Saw series, which is a great introduction to horror and gore and nasty horribleness at the age of 12. It's probably why I turned out like I did now. Number 9. What is your biggest fear? This is quite a deep one, I'd say, but I'd have to say hospitals and surgery. I went into my very first surgery when I was 13 years old, and I was completely ignorant to what it would be like, and I was happy. I was laughing away, going down to surgery, having the anesthetics done, didn't care at all, perfectly fine. And after I came out and went through that horrific recovery, which you can read more about in the description, I'll leave the blog about that below. That recovery was so difficult, painful, just really not fun, and I have a huge fear of surgery now. Like the second time I went in for another spinal surgery, I was so much more nervous because I knew what was coming, and obviously that second one wasn't nearly as bad as the first one. It was still pretty horrific being spinal surgery, but I just knew what was going to happen, and I found it a lot harder to kind of cope leading up to the surgery. I actually have this reoccurring nightmare where 4 surgeons, where you can't really see their faces, they just have their masks on, they are standing above me, holding me down, and they're just constantly stabbing me in the back with a knife, just over and over again. And that's literally, I worked out that is literally my body at night telling me that I'm still in pain, even though I'm asleep. It's like a real subconscious thing, and it's constant. I get them all the time, and then I'll wake up instantly, and that's all it is. Every single time it's just 4 surgeons stabbing me in the back. How lovely. Delightful dreams to have. I'd also say I have a pretty rational fear of mopeds and motorbikes after my accident. So if you don't know, when I was 16 I started driving a moped to give me some more independence, and I can go see the horses on my own without having to wait for my mum. I can go to college on my own. It was much easier, and I only drove them around the local roads. I never went anywhere crazy because it was a restricted moped, and I absolutely loved driving it. It was so fun and it was a great experience. But I was coming home from the yard one day in the rain, and I was going incredibly slowly around the same roundabout I'd driven around thousands of times in my life, and that roundabout is known for being quite slippery. It's got a lot of petrol over it, and when it was just storming with rain, it gets really slippery. Like there were 5 car crashes around this area at the same time as me, and I was going really slow around the roundabout, and it just slipped out from underneath me. The moped landed down on my leg, and we both skidded across the entire roundabout. And I'm very lucky the car behind me stopped in time. They weren't too close, but when I woke up, realised what happened, I looked up from the floor and the car hood was like an inch over me. It was so close to just hitting me, and that could have been the most terrible outcome ever. But it turned out the guy behind me, who just about managed to stop, was a doctor. So he jumped out and helped me, and everyone was amazing. They all jumped out and kept me dry. It was pouring, I was freezing, and I'd smashed my back to bits, and so it actually took 2 minutes to get an ambulance out because they were already like on the same road next to us treating someone else who had a really bad car accident. As I said, they did say there were 5 accidents round this exits to these roundabouts that day. Absolutely insane. And it was no one's fault. Like, no, I could not have prevented this in the slightest. The police tried to blame me. Actually, they said, "Were you driving really fast or something?" It's like, I'm on a restricted moped that can go 30 miles an hour, and I was driving less than 10 round a bloody raining roundabout. I don't think I could have caused anything. Plus, no one else got hurt. It was just me literally slamming down on the side of my moped. Like, nothing happened to anyone else. But everyone else around me witnessed it, so they stood up for me, thank God, and they did not fine me. But what they did do, they tied my moped to the side of the road and tried to charge me 170 quid to pick it up. Like, why? And last of all, number 10. Where did the name Brace Yourself come from? So my name of my blog is Brace Yourself, and this title came from an essay I wrote for my English GCSEs. We had to write an argumentative piece on the cons and pros, like both. You stick to one side, but you also have to go into a little bit of both to put your argument across. And I chose to write about braces for scoliosis and whether they work or not, and what are the cons, the pros, this, that, the other. and I got an A* for it, of course. So it was actually named Brace Yourself. The essay was named Brace Yourself, as it was about scoliosis braces. And so it kind of stuck with me all along, and I cannot find this essay anywhere. I'm devastated. I really wanted to post it on my blog, but I cannot find it. It's really not even a draft version, just cannot find it anywhere. It's such a shame. But yeah, that's where the name of my lovely blog comes from, because I've got scoliosis myself, so it was very fitting, just call it Brace Yourself. So that is all for today's video. This was the Get to Know Me 10 question tag, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave links below in the description to any other of my social media, so Instagram, Facebook, other YouTube channels, anything, and my blog of course, anything you want to read, and it's got all my information about my disability and product reviews for horses, just all fun content like that. And I hope you would enjoy reading those. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!